Walk with Your Angels and joyflames.com. Welcome to your May. Can you believe it? It's already May 2019. Oh my goodness, this is going so fast. Well, what was your April like? Did you manage to maintain your power and then regain it? That was all about April, wasn't it? A lot of things coming at us, a lot of things that you might have been witnessing or observing and deciding that you weren't going to let it get attached to you, that you weren't going to take it personally, and then you remained in your stance, in your power, in your love, in your peace, right? So what is May going to be doing for us here? Well, according to those in quantum, this is a new month of really questioning your ID, your identification. What do you identify with and with whom and all of that? And then having a lot of little, what I would call a little volcanic eruptions or little shocks in there that really make you start to wonder, wait a minute, what have I gotten attached to my ID? What have I defined as who I am? Who have I allowed it to influence that? And perhaps I am in the middle of an ID crisis. So if you're really questioning a lot about who you are and from where are you coming when you do have your reactions to things, your responses to things, and really digging in there and saying, wait a minute here, is this really my ID or is this something that I took on for somebody else? Maybe parents, family, mentors, teachers along the way who you had thought at the time, well, they're older, they must know, right? So they must have that wisdom and I think I'll just go along with it. And then all of a sudden today, in May 2019, this month, you're looking at it all and saying, well, hold on. And even questioning advice or suggestions or recommendations that people are giving you close in. It could be somebody at work, it could be somebody at home, it could be anywhere, a myriad of places. And here's what those in the quantum are suggesting about that. When you are taking in other people's input, question, is this empowering or is this disempowering? Is this something that is going to actually amp up my life and help me shift my frequency to where I want to live and be in my desired reality? Or is this, these types of suggestions, are they really coming from a lack perspective, from where other people have lived their lives and have decided that's the way it has to be, okay? So those in the quantum had a funny quip this week about that, and they said, consider that sometimes advice can be subtract-vice. In other words, it can be lack speak. It can be telling you you can't manage to do something. What are you thinking? You can't do that. And it's merely coming from the perspective, again, of those who have lived and a life of their choosing, their choices, and out of those choices, they then landed the reality that they have today, that they're experiencing today, that they created today, and are trying to tell you that you can't manage something or you can't reach that high, or, well, this is just the way it has to be sometimes. When people say that, question, are they living that way sometimes? Or are they living like that a lot consistently, however that is? Whether it's overworking themselves, overpilling themselves, over medicating themselves, over stressing, you name it. What mindset is it coming from? Because if you are receiving suggestions in your May about your ID from those who have kept some lack in their own life, their whole lifetime, or maybe the last 5 years or 3 weeks, question it and say, I really want to take advice here? Or is this subtract advice and it's keeping me in these lack shackles, right? Because whenever you start to feel that stuckness, which a lot of people are talking about, that feeling of, I don't even know who I am anymore, but yet I feel stuck in this old ID, right? So May is about deciding for yourself, what is your ID? Maybe you're shedding all kinds of layers of pieces of you that you're saying, that is not fitting me. I could have done that for the last 20 years, but it's not working for me now. And if I'm in misery, what kind of good am I doing for the planet? What am I doing for my community? What am I doing in my work, my career? How much mindfulness am I really bringing to the table for those around me if I am totally depressed and anxious, anxiety ridden, not being able to sleep because I am in such a yucky state, all right? So how do you do that? What are they suggesting in the quantum about this? It's basically as was said in just a recent video, it's about losing and letting go of everything that is not you, more than deciding that you have to go find yourself, because you're already here. You're already here. You came into form and you're here. So it's more about getting rid of all the stuff, all that lack and limitation and resistant talk that you have inundated yourself with, somewhere along the line, and decided that had to be you. It doesn't have to be you. It's not you, really. That's the secret of it all. So again, if you're feeling really lost, you're feeling like, what is going on? Like the things that I could do, even, last year, I can't do that this year. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. Keep pivoting. Take that runner and pivot it towards the things that do feel good. When you find your joy and you are in that joy and that bliss state, start to check in and see if, wait a minute, I had inklings of this when I was a kid. I remember thinking about this and was talked out of it, was told that could never happen. We couldn't afford it. There's no way that could happen because you don't have that DNA. That's not a hereditary pattern for you. It's all about the genes. Well, again, the genes, our hereditary patterns, our DNA, it's already proven by science who can change with their thought. So if you can change your DNA with your thought, that's your whole idea, right? I mean, if you want to pull it into one area, it's a cellular construct that we have given ourselves, and we can create it just as well and recreate it up in something else. So don't worry about it. If you're feeling really lost and confused and feeling like, who am I? Bless you and congratulations you and kudos on you, because you are questioning all of that stuff that is not for you. It could have worked for somebody else. There are many people on the planet that are very content just getting by. They feel peace at, making ends meet or coming up with the bills, and that's enough. Just enough. Well, that might not be you. And you might have come from a long line of people who spoke to that and aren't necessarily going to stand in there with your dreams. They might think you're wackadoodle, you're crazy, and that's okay too. So if you're feeling really lost in May, going, God, who am I? What happened here? Then quantum leap, do this leap from your current reality, jump into the desired reality, talk to your child self, go back as far as you have to remember your child self that said, oh my gosh, I totally want to do that. I'm so excited about that. Maybe as a child, you saw something somewhere along the line that said, I need to get to Africa because I need to see the elephants up close and personal and not in a cage. And now today in May 2019, you're saying, wait a minute, why can't I make that happen? Yes, of course you can. Maybe back then in the child self, you had an arena around you that will never happen. You're kidding, this is happening in Africa and that's happening in Africa and you're not going to be safe. You could have been 4 years old being told that you couldn't have that dream, right? Well, now it's on you. You get to decide what dreams are you going to live. What dreams are you going to never let anyone talk you out of ever again? Because they're your dreams. They might not be somebody else's dreams. They might say, I can't stand elephants. They're scary. They trample people. Whatever the case may be. But here you are in the quantum talking with your child self saying, of course I can do that. Why couldn't I? Right? And then you start moving that direction towards that allowing that energy to flow into that direction. Jump back to your now, into the current reality with those visions, and especially the feeling of it. The feeling is what catapults your vision into manifestation, and we don't really manifest. We just let things in, let things happen. Everything's already manifested. It's already in existence. It's just a matter of jumping it into your now, letting that feeling come with you. Because remember when you were a kid and you had an idea about something you wanted to do, you weren't just having, I think I just have to visualize this and I just have to see it. No, you thought, God, that would be super fun and I can't wait to try that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to totally do that. I'm going to have that happen. And lo and behold, it would happen. Oftentimes 2 weeks later or within 6 months or a year. So how did you do it? You saw it. Yes, you saw it because you could imagine yourself playing that, doing that, activating that. And then you felt what it would be like. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this, right? Little anecdotal thing that happened to me when I was 10 years old. I was riding my bike. We were allowed to ride our bicycles on the country roads when we turned 10. First probably month that I was out on that bike, I was riding past this dog kennel and I could hear all these dogs and I was just, wanted to be around animals so much that I rode my bicycle right up that driveway, and there happened to be a woman living there who had 13 Cairn Terriers. And she saw me out there talking to her dogs, and she came out and asked, is there any chance that you would like to work with these dogs and help me around with the kennel cleaning, and as I go out to do dog shows, you could be here with the dogs? I'm 10. I said, yes, of course I would love to do that. And I think I started the following week with my sister, who was older. And then she went off to get a job. She was 6 years older, so she went off to get another job, and I stayed there for the next 5 years and inherited a Cairn Terrier for graduation present from high school. So these are the things that we saw as kids. We got really excited about them, right? We just could imagine what that would be like to be doing that, to be feeling that, to be around what wasn't. It was joy, it was love, it was peace, it was a sense of serenity, it was a way your ID was allowed to be without any sort of looking like a certain way or being, it was just you in your bliss, right? So you're jumping that feeling essentially back to this current reality with whatever it is that you're viewing right now, that you're saying, oh, I'd really like to be doing that. How do I get there? It's all you keep jumping, keep jumping, keep jumping. Feel it, feel it, feel it, see it, because this thing obviously is your imagination. Imagination creates everything you've ever experienced in your life. And then jump it back into your now. And if you think it's just fluff, I can tell you thousands of stories of real life people's desired realities coming into being, just merely based on these jumps. Because what are we doing? We're actually uncreating all of the lack and limitation and the resistance in the quantum. None of those exist. Time doesn't exist in the quantum. So it's not a matter of how long this is going to take. It's more like how soon can you let it in, right? So there's May for you, my dears. Please share this video with anyone that you may think about, pops in your head, and it could help, all right? Happy May, happy travels, and I'll see you in June. This is Jeannie, Blaha, Colorado. Let's take a walk with your angels and joyflames.com. Peace.